I like silly songs. A silly song. Silly. Yeah. It's a. I wish. No, it's a Pesach song about a bitter dose of moror and haroset. And tad of haroset helps the bitter herbs go down. It's one of those, what Pete Seeger calls a zipper song. Wandering Jews Nigun. It is. It's actually very nice. Yeah, it says with energy. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. We have a new Nigun for the month. This is called Wandering Jews Nigun. And we have the syllables Yai Didi Die. So something a little new and different. Yai die 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 die. Yai die 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 yai die 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 die. Yai diddy die 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 die. Yai diddy die 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 die. Yai die 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 die. Yai diddy die 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 die. Yai diddy die 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 die. Yai die 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 yai die 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 die. Very nice. Good job.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. So, we all departed for Egypt 2 days ago, and you're still here. All right? I think that's a good thing. But we want to take this time, as Shabbat does, to allow us to sort of reposition ourselves, figure out where we are, not only in relationship to ourselves, but to each other. So I'll begin by asking anything good that you hope that happened in the past 7 days as part of Pesach, or reading just part of everyday life that you would be willing to share with the congregation. Let's start with that. Right, sure. All right, and what did it scare him off? All right, excellent to hear. Yeah, who else has a good and blessing to share? Yes. Mazel tov, Michael. And we're 22. Okay, good. All right, very nice, good number. Who else? Anybody else have a good and blessing? Yes, Gil. Did you make those macaroons? Oh, I missed your homemade macaroons. I am so sorry, but clearly they were popular, so that's a plus to that. Anybody else want to add anything? Yes.
I taught my first poly course.
Oh,
Yeah, and Miss Wellness.
wonderful.
It was fun.
Good. There's a certain fun and even thrill. Would someone open? Yes. Thrill to teaching. I think so. And so I'm glad to hear that. And for me, it's just been an excellent action-packed Pesach. Our home Seder was delightful and the dog was not unduly annoying. And then we had a very nice, well-attended community Seder last night. And so I'm feeling quite at ease with the holidays right now. So that's wonderful. And I'm really enjoying that. It's good to see a lot of faces that I haven't seen in a little while. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start with the kindling of Shabbat lights. It's my privilege to invite up Joanne Barnes. We are going to be in service number 2. Service number 2, which begins, I believe, on page 25. 24. I never quite get that right.
It's 26.
26. All right. So the blessing for lighting is on 26. Yep.
A different light shines this day, a light pure and bright. Its glow is like that of an angel's. Its brightness fills my heart completely. I shall rejoice and be glad.
Air conditioner, when the air conditioner runs, it gets harder.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu b'ner shel Shabbat.
praised are you, Holy One of blessing, whose presence fills the world, who hallows us with mitzvot and inspires us to kindle Shabbat.
Baruch atah Adonai,
Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. We're going to continue on the bottom of page 25 with Anim Zimirot, a wonderful medieval poem of the Ashkenazi mystics. I seek pleasing melodies and weave songs, for my soul thirsts for you. My soul desires to rest in the shadow of your hand and to know all your mysterious secrets. Anim Zimirot.
Anim Zimirot v'shirim eirot, ki elecha nashitarot, nashichandah b'tzeil yadecha, ladat kol ras sodolecha. Midei daberi b'chodecha, Edodecha Yeravna Zirchi Alecha Kinashi Tarov Lilecha.
Whenever I speak of your glory, my heart yearns for your love. Let my meditation be sweet to you, for my soul thirsts for you. We continue now on page 27 with Shalom Aleichem. We welcome the angels into our midst.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem LaShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni LaShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Sechem LaShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
On the bottom of page 28 from Psalm 139, O God, you have searched me and know me well. You understand all my thoughts and every word upon my tongue. Your presence surrounds me. You touch me with your hand, and your presence exceeds my own perception. It is a wonder beyond imagining. And now it is my privilege to invite up Aidan Lapidus, who he didn't realize it, but he's actually leading services tomorrow. No, that's not true. He's leading next week, but we've moved him up here for his convenience in mind. So if you would lead us for a little bit, young man.
Okay. Yit Gadal vi Kadash Shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Bialma Divra Kirte Vialmich Malchute. Bechayechon Uvyomechon Uchayete Kol Beit Yisrael. Bad Gala, Uvizman Kariv, Vimaru Amen. Yehesh me Rabba Mevora, Lelamu Ome Omaya, Yitbarach V'ishtabach, V'itpa'ar V'roma V'nase, V'itadar V'itale V'itala, Shemede Kudesha, Brechu, Leila Mikol Verata V'shirata, Tushbichata V'ne Kevata, Dami Rabelma, Vimaru Amen. Please rise for the Baruch. Baruch et Adonai Hamorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamorah Le'olam Va'ed.
Please join me in Psalm 104. Bless the Eternal, O my soul. O Eternal, O my God. You are very great.
You are clothed in glory and majesty, wrapped in light like a robe.
You spread out the heavens like a tent cloth. God sets the rafters of high places in the waters.
God makes the winds to be messengers, fiery flames to serve you.
You made the deep cover of cover the earth as a garment, the waves to stand above mountains.
You make springs gush forth in torrents, and they make their way between the hills.
You water the mountains from your high places. The earth is sated from the fruit of your work.
The trees of the Eternal drink their fill, the cedars of Lebanon your own planting, where birds make their nest, while the stork has her home in the junipers.
God made the moon to mark the seasons. The sun knows it's time to set.
How manifold are your works, O Eternal! In wisdom you have made them all.
May the glory of Eternal endure forever. May you rejoice in your works.
Bless the Eternal, O my soul. Hallelujah.
As I sing of one God, I rejoice in the wonders of this world, and I pray for the day when all peoples shall be as one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha uvekol nefshecha uvekol meodecha v'chayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher Elohim mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibartam bam v'shivtecha b'veitecha uvlechtecha v'derech uv'shachbecha uv'kumecha uv'kshartam leot al yedecha v'chayu letatafot b'neinecha uv'tavta al mezuzot beitecha uv'isharecha V'ma tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai v'tem kedoshim le'elechem. Ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etem me'eretz Mitzrayim liot lechem le'elohim. Ani Adonai Elohechem. Please join me. You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your being. These words which I command you this day shall be upon your heart. Teach them diligently to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your hand. Let them be a symbol before your eyes. Write them on the doorposts of your houses or your gates. Be mindful of all my mitzvot, so shall you dedicate yourselves to God. I, Adonai, am your God, who led you out of Egypt to be your God. I, Adonai, am your God.
When a Jew speaks a word of prayer in love and in awe, the power of that word gives birth to God's glory, and the angels themselves call out to God, "Who is like unto you?" How great is even a single word of such a prayer! It causes all the angels to sing. All words join with the one that serves the Eternal. This is the meaning of the Micha Mocha, that one who sings a song below can arouse so many songs on high. Micha Mocha, everyone.
Ya dai 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 dai, ya dai dai bim bum. Ya dai 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 dai, ya dai dai bim bum. Ya dai 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 dai, ya dai dai bim bum. Ya dai 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 dai, ya dai dai bim bum. Mi chamocha bo'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh. No ra tehilot, oh shefele. No ra tehilot, oh shefele. Yai dai 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 dai, yada dai dai bim bam. Yai dai 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 dai, yada dai dai bim bam. Yai dai 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 dai, yada dai dai bim bam. Yai dai 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 dai, yada dai dai bim bam.
The middle of page 33. Grant that tonight we lie down in peace, Adonai our God, and raise us up, O Sovereign, to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace, guide us with your good counsel, and for your name's sake, be our help. Baruch atah Adonai haforeh sukat shalom aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael v'al Yerushalayim. I might imagine God as a teacher or a friend, but those images of the past, like king, master, father, mother, may be too small for me now. God is the force of motion and light in the universe. God is the strength of life on our planet. God is the power moving us to do good. And God is the source of love that springs up in us. God is far beyond what we can comprehend. I invite everyone now to please rise for tefillah.
Adonai, Zechariah, Ufiyah, Kitahilalecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagidol, Hagibor v'Hanavra, Elohim Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei HaKol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot Me'imahot, U'mevii Gula B'nei B'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Otzer U'Mashiach Magen. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham V'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Dibor Le'olam Adonai, Mekayeh HaKol Atah Rav V'Hoshia, Mechapel Chayim V'Chesed, Mekayeh HaKol V'Rachamim Rabim. So make no clean Birofei Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umakayem Emunato, Mishanei Ahar, Michamocha V'al Gevurot, Umidom Elam, Melech Meni, Umakayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, Manatavachayot HaKol. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekayeh HaKol. Atah Kadosh Shemcha Kadosh, Kadoshim V'Kol Yom L'Chavlecha Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated. And we're going to continue to celebrate Shabbat by singing Vishamru on the top of page 36.
Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam barit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, ledoratam barit olam. Beni uvein, Beni Israel, Beni Israel, Od hi leolam vishamru, Beni Israel, et ha-Shabbat, la'asod et ha-Shabbat, lidoratam barit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, et hashamayim v'et haaretz vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat lidoratam barit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asod et ha-Shabbat lidoratam barit olam.
A prayer for acceptance. We reach for you, O God, from our quiet places. May we stand still for a brief moment and listen to the rain. Stand still for a brief moment and watch the play of sunlight and shadow on the leaves. For a brief moment, listen to the world. We need a quiet space to test the balance of our days, the weight of our own needs against the heaviness of the world's demands. The balance is precarious. Steady us with faith. Quiet places and stillness where we will still hear our own best impulses speak. Quiet places and stillness where we will reach out to each other. We will find strength in silence, and with that strength, we will turn again to your service. A prayer for thanksgiving. There are times, O God, when I feel alone, and yet I know in my heart that I am never alone. You're always there, waiting for me to speak to you of my desires, my fears, hopes, and dreams. Yet, how seldom do I reach out to you to voice my gratitude for all that is beautiful in my life, for all the gifts of my life. Love, family, friendship have come from you, but the greatest gift of all is your presence, which time and again has given me strength, hope, and courage. So in the midst of doubt and confusion, I need to know that you are beside me, not only in the prayer book, but in the depth of my being, my friend, my strength, my God. With that, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to close out this part of our service with Shalom Rav on page 38.
Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'einecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol v'hosha b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam Tasim Leolam. Yehiyu l'ratzon. Yehiyu l'ratzon. Imrei fi v'hegyong libi lifanecha lifanecha. Adonai suri suri v'gali Adonai suri v'gali. May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to you, be acceptable to you. O God, my rock and my redeemer, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
It was about 4 weeks ago that I posted on Facebook that I was very pleased that I had been asked to write an entry for the Encyclopedia of the Bible and its reception on modern Jewish interpretations of paradise. And I got, in a very gratifying way, it was accepted, edited, and put on the page very quickly. And that was great. And I was very delighted about that. And then all these people said, well, you know, Rabbi, you should make a sermon out of that. And, well, 2 people said, Rabbi, you should make a sermon out of that. And I thought to myself, how can I make a sermon out of a 1,000-word, carefully selected, densely written encyclopedia article? And I looked at it and I looked at it and I said, I could make 3. And the way I could make 3 is by telling 2 of the stories that I mentioned in the article, because each one of them speaks to the question of a modern Jewish perception of paradise. Now, last week, I shared with you Banche the Silent, a Yiddish story told by I.L. Peretz, written in the 1860s. And it's a slightly enigmatic story, but the essential message is that the heavens are sad because we, the Jewish people, have become so passive in this world. And therefore, heaven realizes it's made a mistake in making us overly pious. Now, I'm going to read the second story to you. This is by I.B. Singer. It was written about 60 years later than I.L. Peretz, and it has a different moral to it. But maybe we can talk about it afterwards and tell me what you think. This is called Fool's Paradise. Somewhere, sometime, there lived a rich man whose name was Kaddish, and he had only one son whose name was Artzel. And in the household of Kaddish, there lived a distant relative, an orphan girl called Aske. Now, Artzel was a tall boy with black hair and black eyes, and Aske had blue eyes and golden hair, and both were about the same age, and as children they ate together, they studied together, they played together, and it was taken for granted that when they grew up they would marry. But when they had grown up, Artzel suddenly became ill. It was a sickness no one had ever heard before. Artzel imagined that he was dead. How did such an idea come to him? It seemed that he had an old nurse who constantly told stories about paradise and the world to come. She had told him that in paradise it was not necessary to work or to study. In paradise, one ate the meat of wild oxen and the flesh of whales. One drank the wine that the Lord reserved for the just. One slept late into the day, and no one had any duties at all. Now, Artzel was lazy by nature. He hated to get up early or to study. He knew that one day he would have to take over his father's business, and he really didn't want to. Since the only way to get to paradise was to die, he had made up his mind that just as soon as possible, that's what he'd do. He thought about it so much that soon he began to imagine that he was, in fact, dead. Of course, his parents were terribly worried by this. Akse cried in secret. The family did everything possible to convince Artzel that he was, in fact, alive, but he refused to believe them. He would say, "Why don't you just bury me? You can see I'm dead. Because of you, I cannot get to paradise." Many doctors were called to examine Artzel, and all tried to convince the boy that he was alive. They pointed out that he was talking and he was eating, but before long, Artzel began to eat less, and he rarely spoke. His family feared that, in fact, he would die. In despair, Kaddish went to consult a great specialist, celebrated for his knowledge and wisdom, and his name was Dr. Yotze. After listening to a description of his illness, he said to Kaddish, "I promise to cure your son in 8 days on one condition. You must do whatever I tell you to do, no matter how strange it might seem to you." And Kaddish agreed, and Dr. Yotze said he would visit Artzel that same day. So Kaddish went home and told his wife. Aske and the servants were all to follow the doctor's orders without question. When Dr. Yotze arrived, he went into Artzel's room. The boy lay on his bed, pale and thin from fasting. The doctor took one look at Artzel and called out, "Why do you keep a dead body in the house? Why don't you make a funeral?" On hearing these words, the parents became terribly frightened, but Artzel's face lit up with a smile. He said, "You see, I was right." So, although Kaddish and his wife were bewildered by the doctor's words, they remembered their promise and went immediately to make arrangements for the funeral. The doctor requested that a room be prepared to look like paradise. The walls were hung with white satin, the windows were shuttered, and the draperies tightly drawn. The candles burned both day and night, and the servants were dressed in white with wings on their backs, and they were to play angels. Artzel was placed in an open coffin, and a funeral ceremony was held, and Artzel was so exhausted with happiness, he slept right through the funeral. And when he awoke, he found himself in a room he didn't recognize. "Where am I?" he asked. "In paradise, my lord," a winged servant replied. "I am terribly hungry," Artzel said. "I'd like some whale flesh and sacred wine." And the chief servant clapped his hands, and in came men servants and maid servants, all with wings on their backs, bearing golden trays laden with meat and fish, pomegranates and persimmons, pineapples and peaches. A tall servant with a long white beard carried in a golden goblet filled with wine. Artzel ate ravenously, and when he was finished, he declared he wanted to rest. So 2 angels undressed him and bathed him and carried him to a bed with silken sheets and a purple velvet canopy. And Artzel immediately fell into a deep and incredibly happy sleep. When he awoke, it was morning, but it could just as well have been night. The shutters were closed, the candles were burning. As soon as the servants saw that Artzel was awake, they brought exactly the same meal as the day before. Now Artzel asked, "Don't you have any milk or coffee, fresh rolls, or butter?" "No, my lord, in paradise one always eats the same food," the servants replied. "Is it already day or is it still night?" Artzel asked. "In paradise there is neither day nor night." Artzel again ate the fish, meat, fruit, and drank the wine, but his appetite was not as good as it had been. And when he finished, he asked, "What time is it?" "In paradise, time does not exist." "What shall I do now?" he asked. "In paradise, my lord, one doesn't do anything." "Where are the other saints?" Artzel inquired. "In paradise, each family has its own place." "Can't I go out and visit one?" "In paradise, the dwellings are too far from each other to visit. It would take thousands of years to go from one domicile to the next." "Well, when will my family come here?" Artzel asked. "Well, your father still has 20 years to live, your mother 30, and as long as they live, they can't come." "What about Aske?" "She has another 50 years to live." "Do I have to be alone that entire time?" "Yes, my lord." And while Artzel shook his head pondering, he asked, "What is Aske going to do for 50 years?" "Well, right now, she's mourning for you, but sooner or later she'll forget you, meet another young man, and marry. That's how it is with the living." Artzel got up and began to walk to and fro, and for the first time in years, he had a desire to do something. But there was nothing to do in his paradise. He missed his father, he longed for his mother, he yearned for Aske, and he wished that he had something to study. He dreamed of traveling, he wanted to ride his horse or to talk to his friends. The time came when he could no longer hide his sadness, and he remarked to one of the servants, "I see now that it is not as bad to live as I had once thought. To live, my lord, is difficult. One has to study, work, do business. Here, everything is easy. I would rather chop wood and carry stones than just sit here. How long will this last?" "Forever." "Stay here forever?" Artzel began to tear at his hair in grief. "I'd rather kill myself." "A dead man cannot kill himself." On the 8th day, when Artzel was reaching the deepest despair, one of the servants, as had been arranged, came to him and said, "My lord, there has been a mistake. You are in fact not dead, and you must leave paradise." "I'm alive?" "Yes, you are alive, and I will bring you back to earth." Artzel was beside himself with joy, and the servant blindfolded him after leading him back and forth through the long corridors of the house, brought him to a room where his family was waiting, and his eyes were uncovered. It was a bright day, and the sun shone through the open windows. In the garden outside, the birds were singing and there were bees buzzing. Joyfully, he embraced and kissed his parents and Aske, and he said to Aske, "Do you still love me?" "Yes, I do, Artzel. I could not forget you." "If that is so, now is the time for us to get married." And it was not long before the wedding took place. Dr. Yotze was the guest of honor. Musicians played, guests came from faraway cities, all brought fine gifts for the bride and the groom. The celebration lasted for 7 days and 7 nights, and Artzel and Aske were extremely happy, and both lived to an old age. Artzel stopped being lazy and became the most diligent merchant in the entire place. It was not until after the wedding that Artzel learned how Dr. Yotze had cured him, and that he had been living in what amounted to a fool's paradise. In the years to come, he and Aske would often tell the tale of Dr. Yotze's wonderful cure to their children and grandchildren, always finishing with the words, "But of course, what paradise is like, no one can say." And so with that, that's 2 stories about how modern Jews interpret the world to come, paradise. Next week, I will actually talk to you about all the different possibilities within Jewish modern thought on what paradise might look like. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. And so for our announcements, our officer is the mighty Greg. Thank you.
Hey, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Okay, so we have a t-shirt fundraiser. So congratulations to all of our religious school students for the amazing entries we received in our t-shirt design contest. Now is your chance to own one or more and wear your CKA shirt proudly. Not to mention it will help us raise some always needed shekels. You can find all the designs and order form on the website. We'll be placing the order on April 26th and expect the shirts to be available for pickup here at the shul in early May. We also have the Yarn Lovers Block Party. We want your help. We plan on a yarn graffiti or a yarn bomb out on the trees by the road here, the weekend of April 28th and April 30th. We need your projects to cover trees and bright crochet blocks or knit panels, flowers or stripes, big and small, using patterns or freehand. This is purely for fun. We are considering having a low-key flea market for trading the things you don't want or will never use. It will be a day of stitching, crafting, making friends. Please contact Susan Lee with any questions. We still have our feminine hygiene drive going. CK is sponsoring a feminine hygiene drive in conjunction with Denton Friends of the Family through April 14th. Please help us by donating feminine products such as pads, tampons, incontinence products, and cleansing wipes. Please, no reusable products. You can drop your donations off in the lobby or with Bob here at CKA. And if you have any questions, you can contact our VP of Tikkun Olam, Melissa Trapani. We also have the CKA Blood Drive. We are proud to be working with Carter Blood Care again, and we'll be hosting another blood drive on April 22nd from noon until 4 p.m. You can find the sign-up link on the website. Each hero donation can help up to 3 people, and every drop counts. We also have the Rough Riders game against the Amarillo Sod Poodles is here finally. It is tomorrow evening, so if you would like to still attend and haven't purchased tickets, they are still available through the website, and hope to see you guys there. Let's see. And of course, everything is on the website. And we also have our Misha Berach list. And before I read it, I would like to offer anyone for the list.
Mother Dennis.
Thank you. And on our Misha Berach list, we have Ed Berry, Joyce Bloom, Natalie Bovino, Marianne Cagle, George Cavanis, Shayna Child, Mark Davis, Nancy Enneman, Harry Enneman, Francine Feingold, Michelle Griffith, Molly Collig, John Kaufman, Deb Kaufman, Lauren Cohen, Alex Cohen, Gina LaMonica, Fran Landman, Arthur Landman, Al Landon, Deb Ledden, Matt Levin, Phyllis Loralee, Paxton Luth, Jane Mobley, Jack Ngrin, Paul Redwood Jr., Helen Rubel, Adrian Sandler, Dale Seaver, Happy Waterman, Howard Watt, Karen Weinstein, Barry Weinstein, and Tom Wolf. Please join us in the Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Limotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say
Amen. Well, it's time now for us to do the concluding prayers of our service. And I don't know, I guess I'm just going to call you back up, Aiden, to help me out with the ark. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be on page 82. Please rise. See, now you won't have to do any of this next week.
Malkei Hamlakim, HaKadosh Baruch, She'unotei Shamayim v'yosei haaretz, U'moshav yikaro v'shamayim v'ima'al, U'shkinatu zo, U'shkinatu zo, v'gohei meroni, Hu Eloheinu Eino, Emet Malkeinu Epet Sulato, Hakatu V'Torato, V'yadata Hayom V'hashivota El Levavecha, Ki Adonai Hu Ha'Elohim, B'shamayim Mima'al, V'ya'aretz Mitachta Ein Od.
Please be seated. Bayom hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, U'shemo Echad. And now we recall, for memory, a little piece of the paradise of the past, those individuals who passed away. I begin by observing we have no one listed for Shiva here at the congregation. Is there anybody here who's lost a loved one in the last 7 days? Is there anybody here in Shloshim, anybody who's lost a loved one in the last month? Please. Thank you. Here at Congregation Kol Ami, we think of these individuals whose yahrzeits, anniversaries of death occur this week. Irving Behar, Dr. Eileen Berman, Bernard Brenner, Norma Crandall, John Elfont, Dorothy Feingold, Virginia Giller, Grace Esther Edith Schroeder Gladfelder, Miriam Grace Hart, Karen Kettner Bloomberg, Louis Levy, Sue Potash, Morris Tabor, Doris Weinberg, Molly Willikin, and Tilly Wishnow. Is there anyone else having lost someone this week? We think of all these people and we meditate upon the meaning of life and death, of love and of loss. We turn to page 85, and together we rise as a community to recite the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uv'lamechon uv'chayei l'chol Beit Israel, v'galal v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yita'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata gamiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama Rabbah mim shemaya v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mroma, hu yasei shalom, Aleinu vel kol Yisrael, V'yimru, Amen. And may the source of peace, who makes peace in places far beyond our knowledge or understanding, make peace for those who grieve and all who mourn. Please be seated. Now, we haven't really mentioned tonight that we're actually in Pesach. We're in a particular part of Pesach known as Chol HaMoed, that is the ordinary days in between the festival times. So, we celebrated first Seder, we celebrated second Seder. Now we got some time to kill until we get to the end of Pesach. But in honor of that, we have a charming song.
Yes.
A charming song.
Very serious.
A Pesach-centric song, and I'm going to leave it to you to sing.
Hey, this is your part. Just a tad of a roast, it helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of a roast, it helps the bitter herbs go down. In the most disgusting way. Oh, back in Egypt long ago, the Jews were slaves under Pharaoh. They sweated and toiled and labored through the day. So when we gather Pesach night, we do what we think right. Maror, we chew to feel what they went through. Just a tad of a roast, it helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of a roast, it helps the bitter herbs go down. In the most disgusting way. Well, while more roar is being passed, we all refill our water glass, preparing for the taste that turns us red. Although the more roar seems full of minuses, it sure does clear our sinuses. But what's to do? It's hard to be a Jew. Just a tad of roast, it helps the bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. The bitter herbs go down. Just a tad of roast, it helps the bitter herbs go down. In the most disgusting way. I just realized it's not disgusting. It's disguising.
Disguising. Oh my God. We have to sing it all over again.
No,
Okay.
that's all right. It's disguising, which is probably better.
But better. I have to say it was a bit of a tense moment saying disgusting. Shabbat Shalom, Chag Sameach, everyone. Come on, let's go have our Pesach Oneg. It's going to be exceptionally good. I mean, our host is on an extra mile.